guys ready? Yeah!
When we came in on the horse and carriage, knowing that nobody gets to stay here, I'm not special enough to do this.
Astrid Lindgren's Valve.
My impression is that Astrid Lindgren is a badass. Okay.
What? I just want to stay.
I'm believing that my wish will come true.
It's so beautiful, but it's so sad at the same time.
Last week, David and I were so close to leaving this adventure. I think we were 23 seconds away. So I'm really excited that we got through it and we made it, we had a good time, and now we're here.
I'm really excited to move forward, having won immunity last week with Kevin. It's going to be great staying on this adventure.
See it. There it is, right by the steps.
Today's gonna be a great day. I really have no idea where we are. I wish I did. This place is magical. There's something about the energy here. I can't quite put my fingers on it, but man, I'm excited to find out.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Dear Americans, if being a Swede would become a religion, Vilmersby in Småland would be our holy city, a place to visit at least once in our lifetime for our pilgrimage. You would now have fulfilled that obligation, since Vilmerby is the place where you have now arrived.
Vilmerby.
Why is it so special? Well, the author Astrid Lindgren was born here. The world she has created in her books is Swede's Shangri-La, a Sweden heaven we will go to when we die.
I had no idea that Astrid Lindgren and her stories are like a religion here in Sweden. That was really surprising to me. I know that she was liked, but I didn't know that she was like sort of worshipped.
You might know of Pippi Longstocking, but do you know of Emil Ronja Broderna Lingjonjarta?
I did not know that Astrid Lindgren was a big part of the Swedish culture history. I didn't even know Pippi Longstocking was written in Sweden. I thought it was like American.
I only knew about Pippi Longstocking being a Swede from watching last season's show.
To fully become a Swede, there are a lot for you to learn here. Astrid is in our hearts after this week. Hopefully, she will be in yours as well. The coffert contains picture of Katholt, the home of Emil, music, Ida's summer song, the holiest of holy song in our Astrid Lindgren religion. Key to Alfred's cabin. Alfred was Emil's best friend and a hired hand on the farm of Katholt. You will stay in his actual cottage.
We find out that we're gonna stay in this amazing cottage. We're all really excited to do that. That's a piece of history that I don't think many people get a chance to do, and we're just absolutely honored and humbled by the fact we get to do that.
As you can see, there is also a family treasure chest in the coffert. Christina!
I'm so excited to get my special day. I was 23 seconds from not getting it, so I'm overwhelmed and thrilled, and I can't wait.
Your family is from Småland, not very far from here. I guess you are excited?
Yes, I'm excited! Getting a special day means a lot to me. I was worried that I wasn't going to get it, so I'm thrilled at the opportunity to find out more and get to experience it, not only from reading, but like being in the places where they were and where they walked.
It comes with a wig.
So I'm really excited that I finally made it here. To Småland!
Put it on, put it on.
Put it on.
I don't think it's gonna fit.
Once again.
I can't believe that in Sweden I found my actual twin right here.
I am so excited for this week. Like, I cannot wait to truly dive in and immerse myself in this experience.
I had never heard about Emil till today, till we opened up the coffert and we saw the story about him and we got to listen to the record about him, so it was really neat. And I definitely want to read the book in English now. Maybe read it to my son, Malachi. That'd be fun to do together.
Jag gör mycket vatten i bäcken pappa och far. Jag gör som
Lindgren's Vow. Man, I want to find out as much as I possibly can about Astrid Lindgren. I got to admit, the only story that I really truly know is Pippi Longstocking.
Okay, you guys want to go this way first?
Oh, yeah, let's start this way.
Let's go this way? Okay.
I would love to learn more about Astrid Lindgren, about the other stories she's written. I mean, today I didn't even know about Emil, so I'd love to learn more about the work that she's done.
This guy looks like a perfect guy to ask some questions.
Can we ask you
Can we ask some?
Yeah, of course. Can you tell us a little about, like, Kathoot?
Cattle, yeah, it's the typical Swedish farm where familjen Svensson lives. The dad, Anton, the mom, she's Alma, and Emil and his little sister, Ida.
It's so peaceful here. It's like, you know, you think of an amusement park in the States, it's chaos, man. My impression of this place is that it's a fantasy land for people of all ages, and it's like Dr. Seuss and Harry Potter had a baby, and it's magical. I'm loving this place.
What's your favorite story?
I would have to say when the Pippi Longstockings are going into the candy store and buy all the candy from the whole store and treats all the kids.
It's a great idea.
Do you read the stories to your kids?
Yeah,
yes,
some
we
of them.
started just recently. She's just 3.5 years old, so we just started, and she likes it a lot.
Astrid Lindgren is amazing. I had no idea that she touched so many hearts the way she does. Everybody here is so passionate about this place. It's really humbling to see how much love people have for this.
Oh my gosh.
This is so amazing and exciting and magical. I definitely can see why so many people love Astrid here in Sweden, because she has written so many wonderful stories and then created this beautiful place for people to come and live those stories out.
Oh my gosh, yeah!
Oh, look at the hole down there! Let's go down there!
The Niels Carlson Piesling was really cool to go inside and to see all these massive like tables and chairs, and we were so small compared to them, and it was just really neat. Woo woo!
Where and which story does this horse come from?
Katthult.
Katthult?
Yeah.
You have beautiful children. What is their favorite story?
Vilken film är roligast, Viggo?
Viggo bajskorv.
Bajskorv? I think it means poop.
I haven't heard of that story yet, but we'll keep walking around and try to find it.
Andrew! Kom nu!
Oh my God, the Gamelgården! This exists in my hometown of Scandia.
What is it?
It just means old garden. In my hometown of Scandia, there's actually this historic living museum called the Gamelgården, which is the first Swedish settlement in Minnesota in 1850. And a lot of the people that immigrated from Småland ended up in Minnesota and ended up in Scandia. So to see the Gamelgården here, that was so cool.
Oh, this is the place to fika.
Oh, this is fika.
Okay, we're going that way, right?
Lilia,
Hold on.
I gotta take a photo of this, man. Give me a second. I'm going all dad moment.
Come on.
You ready? Yes. Got it? All right, thank you. Oh, my Lord. Oh, man. I can't, I literally cannot take enough photos.
Oh, it's a perfect place to meditate.
David, come catch up.
Man, I'm doing like the dad photo thing. I just gotta keep snapping.
Okay, you guys
All right,
ready?
let's go to, is it Emil's house this way?
Yeah, Emil's house.
Okay, let's go.
Katthult.
Katthult?
Jag sitter fast! Aj, jag sitter fast! Åh, vad fin soppskål! Vad fin blommig soppskål!
I thought that was hilarious with the soup on his head, because he goes to the doctor, they're trying to pull it off, it's not coming off, and bloop, just slips right off, shatters, and then costs more than the actual bowl that he bought it for in the first place. That's pretty stinking funny, man.
He just leaves her there.
The show that I just saw with Emil was really, really cute. My favorite part was when he hiked his little sister up the flagpole and she was up there. That was fun.
This park is not only for kids. This is one of the blessings that God has given all mankind to enjoy.
After having talked to people in the park about Astrid Lindgren, I have realized that she's way more of an icon than I ever realized. I had no idea there was this like cult following, and She's been so popular for generations.
Ja, här har ni då Emil, Jan Olsson från Uppsala. Har du ridit för?
Ja.
Vad heter hästen?
Lukas.
Ja. Astrid Lindgren, är nu det här den miljön du tänkte dig när boken om Emil skrevs en gång?
Ja, i varje fall så lika som det kan bli tycker jag. Det är klart att jag kanske såg husen placerade på ett annat sätt. Men jag menar, det är ursmålen, det får man ju säga. Gården är ju en småländsk typisk gård och hela miljön och alltihopa runt omkring också. Så jag tycker att det är så nära det kan komma.
Var fanns ursprungsgården? Fanns den egentligen?
Den fanns in i skallen på mig.
Emil! Förgrämmade unge!
Hör nu på, god vänner, så ska jag för er berätta vad en gosse gjorde, det är nu länge sen. Men nog lever minnet kvar i Smålands sköna dalar. Katthult, Lönneberga, det var den gossens hem.
That was so cool to ride into Katthult on the horse carriage. I've never done anything like that. And that horse was so stinking huge. It was incredible. I thought that was an amazing time.
There's the house. This is the
Wow, here it is.
Wow. When we came in on the horse and carriage, knowing that nobody gets to stay here, what an honor. If this is humble, this is where it is. I can't imagine, I'm not special enough to do this, and I'm so thankful that we get a chance to do this.
Wow. This is amazing.
So how do you get a sister up that thing? That's what I want to know. Like, that's the real question.
Where do you guys want to check out first?
I want to check out the woodshed.
Yeah, the woodshed.
Totally.
Which way? You lead the way, brother. My first impression of the farm is that it's this very, very peaceful place, and wow, it looks just like what we saw in the play. This place feels like magical and mystical. And there's animals everywhere, and all the animals seem really happy, and there's beautiful flowers blooming. It's really, really peaceful here.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
He must have gotten in trouble a lot.
This is where he let out all of his rage.
Snickerboa it was neat. There's lots of little woodworking guys in there. They all have creepy faces though. Real creepy faces. So maybe Emil was like unhappy when he made them. I don't know. Grumpy.
Oh, this is awesome. There's a workbench in there that blew my mind. There's a wooden screw on it. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take lots of photos and I'm gonna study the heck out of that place. I'm totally eating dinner here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We can fika out there. Oh,
Nice.
oh my God. Oh, look at those stairs.
After you, buddy.
This is so cute.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We get to eat in here.
It's like a living museum.
Yeah.
This place is like living art.
Yeah.
This is a place where art is created.
Yeah.
Wow. This is like a little magical room.
I love these.
This is like sleeping in a tree fort, but like 20 times
Well, it's
better.
amazing that we get to sleep in the story.
Vet du, Skorpan, jag tror inte att det är så hemskt, sa Jonathan. Jag tror att du får det härligt. Härligt, sa jag. Är det härligt att ligga nere i jorden och vara död? Äsch, sa Jonathan. Det är liksom bara skalet av dig som ligger där. Du själv flyger iväg någon helt annanstans. Till Nangijala, sa han.
I'm reading The Brothers Lionheart, and it is like so sad.
Oh, it
like,
is.
I'm like thoroughly engaged. Like I want to see what happens
That's
next.
cool.
So many books in our society are fluffy, and this cuts through all the garbage and teaches meaningful lessons and teaches maybe some ways to cope with some of the things that happen in life. Life's real. Doesn't matter how old you are. What I think is interesting for like how much people here are agnostic and don't really think about death. Like that's what this book's about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I was thinking, I'm like, why is this book so interesting to so many people in Sweden when they don't think about life after death?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they like to read about it.
Yeah, as children.
Sounds like it's really deep.
It is. I'm like, holy cow. It's so sad too. You're just like, okay, this kid like knows he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How was that book?
I'm reading That Boy Emil. So he's this boy living here at Kathult, where we're staying right now. And it's really cool. He lives with his family, you can see here, and all these different animals, which are here as well. Yeah, that are all around us. And it's crazy because I really relate to Emil. He basically is this boy, this young boy who is here on the farm that gets into all this mischief. I can relate to Emil because I also grew up on a farm kind of like this, and I was a very mischievous boy that was always kind of getting into trouble. But what I like about the work that Astrid Lindgren did was she wrote it from the perspective of these kids that were living here. And there was always this lesson that Emil learned at the end of the day. And I can't say that was the same for me. I don't think I was parented the same way as Emil in the story. And I find it really compelling that he always kind of learned his lesson, and it was okay for him to be a kid. That was who he was. I totally understand what he went through, and I can relate to him.
You basically are that boy Emil.
Yeah.
They're going to make a book called That Boy Andrew.
Vegetable soup?
Oh. It smells good.
So, who's gonna put the bucket on their head?
Andrew.
Yeah, Emil, of course.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like in the play.
Nice. It's like a donut bread almost, you know?
I'm bummed out that I just found out about Emil today.
Me too.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, how did we miss out on that? That's
Isn't that cool though, like in Astrid Lindgren's Wald, where we were today,
Yeah.
like you saw adults enjoying it
Yeah.
just as much as kids.
I know. I was looking
That says a
around and
lot.
watching the crowd. You know, dads were singing to their babies, and I saw mamas getting teary. I saw baby girls hide their eyes when Emil was about to break the pot for the second time, and I couldn't figure out why they were like, "Oh no," because they knew he was going to get in trouble. And I was like, "What's going on? Something's happening!" And pot breaks again.
Something Kevin and I learned about Astrid Lindgren is that a lot of the stories that she was publishing when they were coming out was right after World War II. So she's just a really important author because she was creating something that could help kids kind of escape from that painful period in time.
My impression is that Astrid Lindgren is a badass, and she's written a lot of amazing stories that have stood the test of time and that continue to inspire and bring joy to many generations.
Astrid Lindgren Wald was very much just like, you could be a kid there, and it was very natural. It was just like a park.
There was no VIP lines. Everybody was the same and just kind of enjoying it as it really was to each of them. I'm starting to understand why Astrid means so much to the Swedes, because this is a place that represents hope, intelligence, it represents wisdom, it represents honesty, and I think when you put all of those things together into a book that can be understood by people of all ages, there could be no better thing to celebrate in this country. If you ask me, this is almost like the Mecca of Sweden.
And it's really cool to piggyback off of that about how all these stories are written from the perspective of the child. That's really different than children's stories in the USA.
I never thought in a million years I would have this opportunity to be in this place at this time in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. Growing up, I know I'm half Korean, and I was always ashamed of it as a child. I didn't like it. I wanted to just be like everyone else, blonde hair, blue-eyed, normal. And as an adult now, I've embraced that ethnicity that I have from my mother. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm proud of it. And now I feel like it's a great opportunity for me to embrace my Swedish side and be proud of it as well.
Here you come again, just when I've begun to get myself together.
I would describe myself as someone who loves adventure and is exciting and has an infectious personality, and I love to meet new people and get to know them. I can go to the grocery store and I will leave with some friends. My lifestyle, of course, I'm a mother, so I'm very busy. I work full-time, I have a child, so it's very active with a little 10-year-old boy. And I have a wonderful man in my life, and his name is Lee. So this is,
Yeah, don't go there.
And we met through a blind date, and we hit it off immediately. It's been an amazing gift from the Lord. This time together has been just really special. When I was 19 years old, I found out I was pregnant with a child. I had something called oligohydramniosis, very rare. They told me that they thought I should have an abortion, actually. I chose not to. I was hoping and praying that, there would be a miracle and I would be able to have him and be healthy. At 34 weeks, I had him, and he lived for 2 days, and he passed away. He would be 15 years old right now. Every year on his birthday, I would think about him. My son, Malachi, knows about him. He'll tell you he has a big brother. And hopefully one day I'll get to meet him again on this other side of heaven. We're a big Italian family, but nobody would ever know or guess that we are actually half Swedish as well. My dad, he is 50% Swedish from his mother's side. My dad was in the military, that's how he met my mother. She's from South Korea. And he's 50% Sicilian from his father's side. Growing up as a child, most of the time he would talk about his Sicilian side. He would always say, oh, I'm part Mafia and I'm part Viking from the Swedish side.
I feel like you've just had her.
Even though my father is 50% Swedish, we don't know anything about that side of the family.
I thought it'd be really neat to kind of hear, Grandpa, how you met Grandma. I've really never heard this story before, and I thought it'd be something special to hear.
Well, I met Grandma in a medical technology school in Chicago. We were going there together. Proposed marriage, and we got married on a bright, beautiful November day. So that was it. That's the big romance of my life.
Upon the passing of my grandmother, a part of me was gone, a part of my history, my culture was missing, to never be found again or talked about. Not knowing a part of who I was, the Swedish side of me, has affected me in a way that I really don't know 100% of who I am. I've had a great experience getting to know about my Korean culture and history, the Italian culture and history, but it's a part of me I just don't know about, and I want to know and I want to learn. I'm really excited about today, about getting to open my box and read my letter and hopefully look at the faces of some people and learn the stories of these people. They're real people with real lives, that blood, the same blood that went through them is running through me. So I'm really excited to connect with them today and get to know a little bit more about myself as well. Dear Christina, you come from generations of hardworking farmers who tenaciously worked these small land soils for years. Your family reached Botanyard in 1833 when 11-year-old Magnus Johnson arrived with his parents and 2 older sisters. Their new farm was twice as big as the one they'd left, and things were looking up. But everything changed just 2 years later when his mother tragically died at 43. The reason for her death is unclear, but it didn't take much to catch one's death in those days. It could start with something as simple as an infected sore. His father was devastated. After 25 years of marriage, he'd lost his partner, and in those days, the loss of a spouse could make a burdensome life seem almost unimaginable. Magnus was thrown into farm work at an early age, so he was well experienced by the time he, as only son, was to take over the family farm. So ingrained were such customs that his sisters had already accepted their lot and moved elsewhere to find their happiness. Wow, it's really neat. This is the place where Oscar and Emma probably stayed. This is the land they walked on, where they played and they laughed, so it's really neat to be here and kind of take it all in. I'm looking for the oldest tree I can find to see if it's old enough to have been here when they were here. So Magnus was a prepared provider by the time he married Maja Greta Andersdotter. Their son, Johan, was born 2 months later. Wow, there's a fireplace in there and crazy wallpaper. It looks like a table. Just think that memories and history of my family was here, and maybe even got to look at the same tree line and just enjoy the beauty of it. It's really, really neat. And Maj Greta delivered 4 more children in 5 years. All 4 met tragic ends. Johan stood as a suddenly only child, but Magnus and Maj Greta did not give up. Right in the midst of this epidemic, they had another son, Carl Oskar, then 5 more children in rapid succession: Emma Justina, Hilda Maria, Anders Gustaf, Ellen Augusta, and Johan Emil. All in all, Maj Greta had 13 children in 27 years. I'm surprised that Magnus and Maj Greta had so many children, so I feel like regardless of the loss they had still had hope
And they still, wanted to have children and hoped that some would survive. It was common to reuse names whenever an older child died and a new was born. And their last child, Johann Emil, reflects the name of his parents' oldest son, Johann, who drowned in the nearby river 1 year earlier, March 1st, 1870.
You remember me when the west wind moved.
I can just imagine, think about the 25-year-old boy in my family that passed away here. I can imagine his mother running down and just crying and grieving at the shore of this lake, and it's so beautiful, but it's so sad at the same time just to think about that happening here so long ago. The first in your family to immigrate was Hilda, who left in 1882. I just think about my mom when she came to the United States. She didn't speak English, she married my dad. But I sometimes think, how crazy was she? But in the same sense, how brave and adventurous she must have been. So I think about Hilda. I wonder if she was like my mom, just kind of, leaving behind a hard circumstance for a future that she was hoping for. The only remaining sibling was Carl Oscar, who stayed, and following custom, took over the farm. I wonder what made him stay and not go where his sisters went. Their father Magnus lived all his 65 years on Swedish soil, dying in 1887. Their mother, Maj Greta, was reunited with her children in America after her son Emil returned to get her in 1894. Daughter Emma had by that time settled in Chicago. There she met a Swedish sailor named August. Together they built a family of their own with 3 kids, Arthur, and I know that because it's my great-grandfather, Ernest and Edith. Both Ernest and Edith died young, but Arthur furthered your bloodstream through 5 children with his wife Norval. Their next youngest daughter was Artis, born 1931. For young Artis, her Swedish heritage was pushed rather quickly to the forgotten past when she married a man of Sicilian heritage, Charles Mantione. They had 5 children together, the youngest named Charles Jr., your papa. Reading the letter today, I'm just sitting there and just soaking in all the information and learning the names of children that have passed away and the names of mothers who love those children just kind of connected me to my own loss. I lost a son a long time ago named Caleb, and I thought forever that I would never be happy again, I would never smile, but just with the Lord in my life, I was just able to move through that, and I'm hoping that they were able to do the same thing as well. I do feel more connected to Sweden and its people, and I'm proud of my heritage, and I want to go home and be like, yeah, I'm Swedish, and just gives me so much motivation to continue on in this adventure and try to win so I can meet that family and share that with them and be able to connect them with my family in the United States. So I'm really excited and encouraged about today.
Gissa om Emil blev glad. Han hoppade upp på sin nyskodda häst och red ut genom porten som den värsta general. Och på Storgatan, mitt i värsta folkskocken, där kom minsann Alfred. Kors i Krösamoset, sa han, vad är det där för en häst? Min, sa Emil, och så red han iväg bort mot borgmästargården så att det skrällde i gatstenarna.
Haha!
Chickens! See if you can pick one up.
No, I'll guard the door.
Well, there's a rooster.
They bite.
Oh my gosh.
That was my first time being inside a chicken coop, and it was really fun. I didn't succeed in catching any chickens, but I tried.
Girls,
Here's
totally easy.
How'd you do it?
I just said hi. I just walked up and said hi. Can you put
Kiss it, Andrew.
Put him to sleep. Yeah,
Kiss it.
I grew up on a farm, and I took care of a lot of animals on my own farm and other people's farms. So I actually rode horses all the time and took care of pigs and chickens and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm really comfortable here. I'm excited to just relax.
Du gamla, du fria, du födde en fjord.
This horse is lame. Let's go to that horse.
Oh, sad. I think they have the same hair as Ashley.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Get behind it.
watch out for this one.
The best part of hanging out with the people that I'm on this journey with is that I get to connect with people I normally wouldn't, and I just get to connect with them in a deeper level, which I love to do because I'm a relational person. So it's just been great to form new friendships and people who are more like family.
Oh, hey, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, you're just a lover boy, aren't you? I've gotten close to very few people in my life, but I feel a really special bond with David and Kevin. I think I've definitely found a couple friends for life that really do care about me to the core. And because they've seen the worst of me, they've seen a lot more than most people have.
You guys are so unique from my friends in LA, and it's so refreshing. I mean, is it the same way for you guys?
No, I hang out with people just like you guys back home.
No way.
No, I totally don't.
I want to say that I never saw myself starting a family at all. And this adventure, seeing the photos of my ancestors as such happy married couples, it like sparked something in me. And then just hearing about your marriage and like this, I think is so cool. And I think I have it in me. I just needed some good role models, and I see that in you.
Oh, thanks.
And Kevin, like talking about our hometowns, I've had this weird thing with Scandia growing up, and especially moving all over the world and ending up in LA, where in LA people don't want to talk about where they're from. It's sort of this like wound that they hide underneath, and they don't want to like reveal it. It's like a card that is a weakness, and you've inspired me to look back on Scandia as somewhere I should be proud of, and to work on the relationships I have there, and to grow them in a new way as myself with my new identity. And it's all really inspiring. I think you're both super unique and individual and in amazing ways.
I would say the people that I've gotten closest to on this adventure are David and Andrew. And I can honestly say that they will probably be good friends of mine for the rest of my life. But also, you know, I also feel like, yes, this is a competition, and there is someone who is going to be, you know, the winner, I guess you could say. I've already won, if you ask me.
I brought you a little welcome gift.
Well, thank you so much, but you're really my present. It's an honor to meet you and a privilege, and this is just the start.
Yeah.
I can't predict how this adventure will affect me in the future, but I don't think that there's any way that anybody that goes through an experience like this cannot have their life changed by it. And, you know, there was times where I actually almost said no to this adventure for many, many reasons. But my sister Amy, she said, you need to do this because I think it's going to change your life. And she was absolutely right. It is going to change my life. I love you guys.
I love you guys too.
This journey will not end when this journey ends.
Oh, no.
Right? When I met an actual living relative here in Sweden, that was the first new relative that I've met in years. I'm the youngest of my generation, and I've always had a slight fear of being alone. And this adventure has kind of given me an opportunity to believe, because it is real, that I am not alone.
Hello, Americans. Hello. I'm fine. You're looking fine too.
Nice.
It's Saturday and it's time for a great Swedish tradition. Swedes are the biggest candy eaters in the world. We eat 40 pounds per person and year. That's 17 kilos.
Wow. Finding out that Swedes are the biggest candy eaters on the planet, it really isn't a surprise, because everywhere you go, there's candy, and there's just so many different kinds.
But we have figured out a way of doing that without destroying our teeth. We eat it all on Saturday. A little feast we called lördagsgodis. That's easy. And it's Saturday, so go ahead, eat as much as you want while I tell you a sad, sad story about the Vipeholm experiment. In the late 1940s, Swedes' dental health was terrible. Nobody here or anywhere else knew really if there were a connection between sugar and cavities. At that time, there was a place in southern Sweden called Vipeholm. It was the country's largest hospital for mentally disabled. Here you had a focus group of thousands of patients that you could fully control. And the patients themselves, they didn't say anything, or they just couldn't say anything. It was decided that now was the chance to find out if sugar was dangerous to teeth. The huge Swedish candy industry sponsored the project because they hoped and thought that the experiment would show that sugar was not as dangerous as suspected. So tons of candy was transported to the hospital and nobody was given a toothbrush. That experiment was run for 2 years, and by then, of course, all the patients' teeth were totally ruined. Most of the teeth had to be drawn out, leaving the patients with lifelong pain.
The fact that they were experimenting on the mentally disabled is really sad and cruel. I understand that this was happening not only in Sweden, but all over the world at the time, but I'm just glad that we've come a long way as humans and we no longer are, conducting science this way.
But in the world of science, the experiment is a success. The result is spread across the world and it signifies a breakthrough in the study of cavities. Finally, at last, it's proven that sugar destroys teeth. But it also shows that it's more important how often you eat sweets than how much. It's better to eat a lot one day a week than to spread it out. And hence, the idea of lördagsgodis is launched. Saturday candy. So there you have it, a sweet tradition with an awful, terrible history. Enjoy, eat candy, it's Saturday. Thank you, that's all for today.
How amazing and beautiful lördagsgodis is, it comes from such a dark history of people taking advantage of the weak-minded. And that's pretty sad to me.
I mean, it's good that Sweden got a good dentistry reputation out of it, but I think they could have gone about it in a better way, maybe ask for volunteers, because I would volunteer to eat candy.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Is this where I go when I'm a bad boy?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man, let's do some carving.
Really?
Have you guys ever carved?
Not really.
I've done a little bit.
All right, I have to figure out what I want to make, though. If the guy's got his hands in the air like this.
We got a wood shop at the house. I haven't actually locked Leif in with a knife yet, but
It's kind of a speech.
We actually have my great-grandpa's hand tools, and so I'm teaching him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, how to use the same tools that his great-grandpa used.
Yeah.
Well, that.
Look at.
Oh, jeez.
What'd you say? It's not art unless there's blood.
You're not doing it right until you put some blood and sweat in.
There we go.
This is awesome that we get to basically become Emil and be bad and get locked in here and
exactly
whittle our little man.
Being in the same spot that Emil had to go to when he was in trouble, that he had to go sit in there and carve and think about what he did, and man, it touched a heartstring today. It's really, really beautiful and special to be able to sit in there and grab a chunk of wood and just be quiet and carve out some, make sawdust and see where we end up with it. One of the things I'm gonna do for my boys, I'm absolutely gonna take these stories home and I'm gonna share them as soon as I get there. The very first story I'm gonna read them when I get home is gonna be a story about Emil. So do you guys have little people in your lives back home, little kiddos that you think might enjoy something like this, like watching the video and going, oh my gosh, my aunt was actually in that shop carving where that little boy is right now who got in trouble?
I don't have anybody, to be honest with you. But, this trip's kind of made me think a lot about family and the future. And I gotta say, probably for the first time in my life, in many ways, I think I'm somewhat ready to have kids of my own.
Really?
Yeah, it's like when you learn your heritage, you kind of start to really, you see the purpose of all of the work in a way, The Swedes that ended up in America, they worked their butts off, man. Because it meant something, because they had to build something for the family as it grew. What's the purpose of all of this work I do on a daily basis? You do all of this hard work in life, you create all of these things, you kind of build the life that you want to build, but if it's all going to be over when you're dead and gone, what's the point? I want to be able to have this have meaning to not only myself, but to people that come after me. So I didn't know it was going to be kind of like an adventure that would kind of have me face like decisions like, do I want to have kids one day? That's the last thing I thought I would ever think about.
Oh, what a beautiful thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I say we ride them.
Yeah.
I grew up with horses down the street, and my friend and I would always sneak up the road and jump on the horses. So that's all I have. That's the only experience I ever have riding horses. Good boy. This thing's awesome.
Hey, you. It was really cool to ride a horse that is native to Sweden and really, really just a powerful beast. That is the biggest horse I've ever ridden. Oh no! And it was really fun to hop on. I haven't ridden a horse in years, and it was cool to do it here at Allt. I feel like it's such an honor to be able to do that.
I love you, Sweden. I love you, Lucas.
All right, guys. Well, I think punishment's over.
Yeah, I think so.
This is not punishment to me, man.
What is this? The Childhood Home. On November 14th, 1907, Astrid Lindgren was born in this little red house, where she grew up with her parents, 3 siblings, and many others who worked on the farm. When she was 13, the family moved into the larger yellow house, lying close by. The upper floor of the childhood home and the yellow house are still used as private residencies for Astrid Lindgren's relatives. Wow, it's so cool to have learned so much about her, and now we're finally here. I feel very humble to be able to go to Astrid Lindgren's house and see where she derived all of her inspiration from.
Being at the place where Astrid Lindgren was born and raised gives me a little insight into what she truly was inspired by in her writing.
We saw the place where the movie was recorded, but I mean, this is the place where the books were written, and I think the books kind of stand the test of time, written in all those different languages more than anything. This place is the true seed of it all.
The first thing I thought when I saw Astrid Lindgren's childhood home was that it looks very similar to Allt.
This feels just like a really peaceful place where it'd be very easy to just be at peace with nature and let your creativity flow.
Yeah, let's go see some of the other peaceful places around here.
It says the 7 wishing jars. This sculpture consists of thousands of sticks from hazel, willow, and birch from the land around Vimmerby, and will remain on the meadows at Astrid Lindgren's Nest as long as nature permits. By writing down your dream and storing it carefully, it can come true. Welcome to our wishing jars, and feel free to dream and wish for what you want.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's go wish.
Let's go wish.
Let's go check it out.
På samma sätt som vikingatiden finns som en mer färgstark tidsålder inuti den mer dimmiga järnåldern, så måste det ha funnits ett Astrid Lindgren förr i tiden som var ljust och härligt inuti det där förr i tiden som vi vet var eländigt och fattigt. Och det finns faktiskt också mycket lämningar kvar från Astrid Lindgren-tiden. Söderköping till exempel, där Madicken levde, finns kvar än idag. Katthult, där Emil växte upp, finns också kvar. Tyskarna som ju älskar Astrid Lindgren nästan lika mycket som vi tycker att det finns en idealiserad Sverigebild som de kallar för Bullerby-syndromet. En längtan till en värld som aldrig funnits. Vadå? Bullerbyn finns ju. Det ligger skitnära här. Jag har varit där. Jag har sett det med egna ögon. Och idag ska deltagarna tävla med Emils riktiga häst, Lukas. Så det är så.
My wish was to establish relationships with my Swedish relatives. I'm gonna make that wish come true by staying focused and keeping my head in the game and doing what I've done in the other challenges, which is winning.
I need to start stepping up and put a little bit more focus and energy into what's going on, so I can stay as long as I possibly can to meet my family at the end of the line.
I want to experience more of Sweden with everything in my heart. I'm definitely going to be coming back here at some point in the near future if I lose. And if I win, I'll still be coming back here sometime in the near future.
I so badly want to experience more of Sweden. I'm hoping to continue this journey. It means more to me than I can even express in words.
I would love to continue experiencing Sweden. I would love to win today. Last challenge, I was 23 seconds from going home, so I hope this time there's a bigger buffer.
I denna veckas tävling gäller det att på snabbast tid få Emils häst Lukas runt en bana med 5 portar. Portarna måste passeras efter en förutbestämd färgordning. Vid varje port finns 2 bollar och för varje boll som rivs ner läggs 10 straffsekunder på sluttiden. Amerikanerna har fått de svenska kommandona höger, vänster och sakta för att lättare dirigera hästen. Deltagaren med sämst sluttid måste lämna allt för Sverige.
The commands are höger, vänster, sakta.
Höger, vector, svinkta.
Höger, vänster, soccer, and...
Swedish is very hard. I did learn how to say some words. I learned how to say jag älskar dig. And I learned how to say kan du kyssa mig. But I didn't learn how to move a horse around, so I gotta practice that.
I'm feeling extremely nervous. 2 people have immunities, so there's only going to be 5 of us competing. And I'm nervous before every competition, so I'm nervous.
I want to carry on this adventure because I feel like God's got so much more to teach me and so much more that he can use me in this country, and I just want to stay.
I'd be so sad if this is my last day in Sweden. It's just been the most beautiful day this morning and last night, and if I had to have a last day, this is probably the best last day, but I hope it's not. I hope to have more time.
Hello again. Okay, famine, poverty and oppression, we have given you a rather dark image of Sweden at the time of the Great Immigration. Astrid Lindgren can give you a brighter one, full of pranks and adventure amongst red houses and barns with good-hearted farmhands and maidens. In Sweden, we haven't read those stories. We have absorbed them until it's like they describe a lost Swedish Eden that Swedes forever been expelled from. We will always long for that lost world. And it's not like Astrid Lindgren avoids dark sides or hardships. It's there too. She's just a great storyteller. In today's competition, there will be a little bit of both too. There will be hard work and nostalgia. Kevin and Andrew, you don't have to participate today since you have immunity from last week's competition. The rest of you, good luck.
Thank you.
You ready?
I'm extremely nervous because I feel like horses can sense your fear, and I'm extremely nervous before every challenge, but now that I know the horse is gonna know, it adds a little bit more anxiety.
Klara, färdiga, gå!
My strategy is to try to stay calm and maybe not worry so much about the commands, not freak out if I forget them, because I might, but guide the horse, use that as my number one. Sakta! Höger! Höger! Vänster! Vänster! Höger! Sakta, sakta! Vänster! were so good. You were so good. So I may not have gone very fast, but I felt that taking the slow, calculated approach would be better.
Ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Klara, färdiga, gå.
Oh, I'm really nervous because I don't know how I did compared to everyone else, and I'm really hoping that I win so I can stay on this adventure.
Good boy. I'm really confident in this one. I know that I'm gonna come out on top on this.
My strategy is to go slow, make sure that I get all the way through the gate before I turn, and just be precise and accurate with the horse.
Vänster, vänster, vänster.
Vänster. Good boy.
Left. Vänster.
There you go. Come on. 2 more. Good boy. Up, up, up.
Vänster. Vänster.
Up, up. Good boy.
I knocked one ball over, and I'm not disappointed with that because my entry angle was off. So I committed to knocking one ball over, and it saved me lots of time in the end run.
Good job. You know, this went excellent. This was perfect.
Good job. I was super nervous I wasn't going to remember the commands, but I think I did pretty good with that.
Are you ready?
My strategy is to use Höger, Vetsta, and Schukta, and use them the best I can. Hopefully the horse just hears like the first sound and he knows what to do.
Klara, färdiga, gå. Tanya. David. And Kyle. You're safe. You can leave.
Good, guys.
Just assessing, Ashley.
So it's between you two. Ashley, your total time was 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Christina, your total time with penalty was 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Christina, I'm sorry. You're leaving today.
Okay. Oh, I forgot the commands and I forgot the order because I got nervous. So I went the wrong way. And then I guess I didn't go through the cones all the way, so I had to do it again. You ready? You can't be crying. You're good.
I am proud of myself. Whew.
I'm going home. That's okay. It was hard to say goodbye. It was sad. I saw Tanya crying, and I didn't want her to cry. I'm excited for them and their adventure as it continues, and I want to hear more about what they did and who got eliminated next and what adventures they had when I left.
Ah, perfect. It's like a big sandwich.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, Tanya. Okay. Ready? Let's go. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I mean, it's hard when anyone leaves, but when you're the closest person you least has to go, it's just harder.
So, that's that for now. Is it okay?
It's okay. It's good.
Yeah. You made some new friends.
I did. I made some great friends.
Yeah?
My time in Sweden has been amazing. I've had lots of adventures. I've learned lots of things about my heritage and the culture and the people that have made me just fall more in love with Sweden.
Oh, look at the hole down there!
This adventure's meant a lot to me. It's something that I would never do on my own or even have the ability to do. So it's been such a gift to be able to be here in this time with these amazing people and the amazing experiences, just learning about my family and even getting to meet one. I hope to come back again and meet all of them.
I'll give you some memories. Here's everything we found out about your family, research. Don't open it yet. And here's something else you can open in just a while.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe trip
You
home.
too.
And I hope you come back.
Yes, I will.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. I've discovered that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. Just being away from home was difficult. Being in different circumstances, not knowing what was going on was challenging, but and meeting people I would have never had the opportunity to spend time with just helped me grow, I think, in maturity and just patience, and also getting to learn about what makes people Swedish and what makes me Swedish. And I'm thankful I can bring that back home with me, and it'll always be close to my heart. So I'm 50% Korean, I'm 25% Sicilian, and now I'm 25% Swedish. I never was able to embrace that side of my heritage, but I feel like I've been able to embrace it here, and I'm proud of it, and I look forward to sharing it with my son and my family.
Hello, David. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure, man.
You saying bye-bye to your parents every day, and you don't know if you're seeing them again or not.
I fled, I could say that.
I want to learn as much as I can about a part of Sweden that I think not enough people take the time to learn about.
Cool. I need to stay here for another week. The only way to do that is to make sure that we just absolutely don't lose.
You don't know your history, you don't know yourself.
We gonna run to